Good morning, girlies. It's another gloomy day in New York City, so what other do I want to do than read, write, talk about books, procrastinate reading said books. So maybe making this video will hold me accountable to actually reading the books that I really want to read that are sitting on my pending bookshelf. Let's get into what I am currently reading and what I am planning on reading soon in the very near future. I've read Memories by Lang Liev, which is like a poetry style book. There are some longer poems in it. I thought this was really fun and cute. I've read a few other books by her. I don't know, I'm talking so slow. I'm sorry. I'm like cannot focus today to save my life. And on the back it says, "It was the words that I fell for. In the end, it was the words that broke my heart." And I thought this was so nice. It was like a really good easy read because it's one of those books that don't have anything on the left side of the page like ever. So it was really fast to scroll through, really quick. Do I love it? Absolutely amazing, like over the moon obsessed with it? No, not really. That's just my review. I think that I've read better poems, and it's not a dig to her. I just think some of them I just really wasn't into as much. I found myself just like, let's go. Tell Me Another Story by Emmy Marucci. She is from Jersey, I believe, and it was very prominent in reading this because I'm from New York City, so there's a lot of certain similarities between the two of us, and I thought it was quite interesting. I didn't do that on purpose. It was very reminiscent of how I grew up because it's an Italian girl that writes about her family, herself, you know, just kind of everything around her, and it's very sappy and sad. When I was reading this, I was going through a sad moment of reflecting on my past. I read this probably 2 months ago. A lot about her grandfather that passed away, so I was like, spent like a lot of mornings when I was reading this book crying because my grandma recently passed away within this last year. This book was also quite an easy read. I read this in one morning to afternoon. The only thing I will say that I don't like about it, if you guys care, if you're into that, there are pictures in it, which is nice. Paper is picture paper. It's photo paper, so it's not like a book. It's like a coffee table book, and I don't like these pages to flip. I like regular old school book pages. Next on the lists of what I've read, I did not read this year. I read this a few years ago, but I've been meaning to reread it again because it was so good. Charles Bukowski, classic, Love is a Dog from Hell, whatever, but like I just remember being so mesmerized by this when I did read it. These next little easy reads that I read are by Kat Savage. I don't know, one day I was scrolling upon Amazon and I landed in a black hole of all of her little books, and you could clearly tell why I landed there. She just has the most magical illustrations, and obviously I was drawn to this one. I think this one is the one that led me into these two. Handle with Care. Unravel me the way you would a spool of lace, careful not to split me at the edges. In more ways than my hardened heart cares to admit, I am so delicate, and I need someone to help me tell my story. Cute, like very cute, like love. I'm telling you right now because I want to force myself to read them because I've been wanting to read these books for so long. Poets in a War. This book is by Kenneth Loaf. It's British writers on the battlefronts and the home front of the Second World War. So it's, I'm pretty sure, like a compilation of poems and letters and things from World War II. Oh, I love like books that feel like this. I don't know, man, I just really wanted to read this and I'm really sad that I haven't read this. I bought this before COVID. If you've never been to Strand, if you've never been to Manhattan, like they have this bookstore that is an amazing bookstore and a lot of famous people do meet and greets there and book signings there. But aside from that whole hoopla, there is bins and racks outside of discounted books, but they have so many good books. It's not like it's like shitty books. $2, $3, $1. You could find random books and make a whole big collection of books. This book, for instance, was supposed to be $10. I got it for $2. You know, they always say the price is on the back. Like this book, Love is a Dog from Hell, I know that I bought this for $17 because I bought this on Amazon. Actually, I think that I bought this in Barnes & Noble. So regardless, it was $17. $2. So I've been wanting to read this too. It's by John Green. I feel like that would be nice to read. I did like all the other stuff that he has written, like obviously The Fault in Our Stars. I think we all are obsessed with that. But this one is An Abundance of Catherines. For some reason I haven't read it yet. I feel like this will be a very easy book for me to read. That perfect chapter book that you read in middle school and high school. Like one day, one night, I could read this entire thing, and I'm going to dedicate one day. I bought this book at Barnes & Noble on a hardcover 50% off sale, and I've yet to read it. I loved the cover. I love historical fiction, and I love timepiece history books. I don't like real history like I do, but sometimes it's just like escape into a world where like you don't have to think about like everything. It's called The Last Garden in England. It is by Julia, her name is blocked out, Julia Kelly. She looks like I think I said this last time when I did a book haul, she looks like one of my old social studies teachers. The book seems like it takes place in the present day, and then also in 1907, and then also in 1944. Moving on to the garden things. This book I've showed you guys a few times I think on this channel, and I've yet to like fully read it. I've opened the pages and read certain things and went through certain stuff. This is like the heaviest hardcover book ever. It's called My Wild Garden, Notes from a Writer's Eden by Mir Shalev.
And it's just, oh, really? They're gonna landscape right now?
Guys, I have so much to film for them to be landscaping right now. I shut my window. Let's cross our fingers. This is the last book I'm going to talk about and bore you with anyway. It's quite the intimidating book. It's very big. It's very long. Like huge. It's huge. It's heavy. It's a huge book. 277 pages, which I guess theoretically isn't bad, but it's a lot of like text. I feel like I'm never going to end up reading this one, but all the other ones I want to end up reading. Oh, there was also actually one other book that I did read in full. My friend wrote a book. She asked me to read through it, to be like one of the few random people to read it, so I read it. It's exciting. And other than that, I've just kind of had my nose deep into all of my witchcraft books. I think sometimes I get a little sidetracked with the witchery. What have you read thus far that you really like, that you would like to recommend to me or anybody else in the comments? Regardless, I do have a spoken word poetry playlist on my channel. I will link that somewhere down below, and of course in the cards. I'm gonna go put on headphones and try to escape the landscapers outside my bedroom window. Subscribe if you liked this video. Bye.
Tripping on the things I say, drinking on